Hello everybody, I am Oscar W. Fitchett.
And I'm Sophie.
And let's discuss Baby Driver. Well, Baby Driver was a very anticipated film, for me at least.
Yeah.
Because, I think collectively it's safe to say that we're fans of Edgar Wright.
Yeah, I would say so. I haven't seen all of his films. I've
You've seen
like
two?
Two of his films.
Well, three now.
Three of his movies.
Out of, I think, 5?
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot
Yeah.
Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, World's End. Yeah. 5.
So I've seen more than half.
Yes. Whereas me, I've seen all of his films. Haven't seen Scott Pilgrim for a good little while, and I haven't watched World's End recently, but fans of all of them.
I didn't really know a lot about it going in. Like, I didn't even know it was Edgar Wright till you told me, because I just didn't see anything about it, and I saw a snippet of the trailer. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was different in its own little way, but it kind of had a bit of a classic vibe to it, I felt.
Oh yeah.
I like a bit of a vintage vibe, but it was modern because of, like,
Edgar Wright is
Edgar Wright and the amount of the violence at the end. I was just like, yeah, you can tell this is kind of like a more modern...
Yeah.
It had like a 1940s, 50s feel about it, but then with the added violence it kind of wasn't. It was kind of like if you combined an old film with like an action movie from...
I felt like, because I'm going to go right off the bat, I love this film. It's a film that, spoilers, is definitely in my top 10 of this year in terms of, if we go... List-wise, it's definitely my top 10. Most likely, I would say it's definitely going to be my top 5 at least, and maybe my top 3. It's like, because it feels like a love letter. Like just you saying that there about it kind of has a bit of an old feel to it. It feels almost like a love letter to what am I thinking of? To 70s films.
Yeah.
To like haven't seen these films, but like an Easy Rider or something like when directors became almost like the rock stars of the film industry. It kind of like feels like a love letter and a throwback to that.
Yeah.
I was kind of a little bit worried because like visually it doesn't seem like an Edgar Wright film like on the surface.
Yeah.
So I was curious, like, is he being a bit too ambitious, or is this going to be a good change? In my opinion, it's an excellent change, and like once you start watching the film, it is definitely an Edgar Wright film. It's oozed in style.
I think what it is, it's obviously because for the longest time you were just not. I'm not saying you as in you specifically.
The collective people.
Collective people were used to him doing British comedy movies.
He just got Pilgrim, but then that. But
yeah, but I mean, like, sort of take that equation. If you think about what he did to begin with, it was a lot of it was like British humour, and obviously that's not the actors, but it's kind of like a thing of like.
And Scott Pilgrim's also a source material as well, so that's like he's got something to kind of like bounce off.
Yeah.
With that, where this is like original, it's a completely original film, which is another reason why I like this film.
So that's probably why it seems slightly like out of the ordinary kind of thing.
But it doesn't. It feels like a night. It feels almost like Edgar Wright did a Matthew Vaughn film.
Yeah.
It's got a very cool vibe to it, but also just a very awesome, fun, badass vibe as well.
It's got a good cast as well. I thought
the cast is excellent.
The one thing I did have to laugh at was I can't remember his name. You were saying you wished he was in it more.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
Yeah.
How high up his credit was, given how long he was in it for. Like,
because I wouldn't say I'm a huge John Bernthal fan, but whenever he pops up in things, I'm like, hey, John Bernthal, because Shane from The Walking Dead, he was the Punisher in Daredevil season 2. He was.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, because John Hamm, I still haven't figured out who he reminds me of.
Okay, right.
But with him, I was like, where have I seen this bloke before? Walking Dead, obviously.
John Hamm, in my opinion, almost practically stole the show within this whole film.
But it's quite funny though, because he kind of started off and you didn't really think he was going to be...
Nah.
Or at least I didn't think he was... I knew he'd be like a relatively main role, but I didn't expect him to end up in the position he did by the end
essentially
of it.
the final act. He essentially became the final villain in a way.
Like you kind of see started off, he was kind of like the smart ass side character.
Yeah, and he's friendly with Baby as well. This is another thing that just feels like cool about this film, is just the code names and stuff. It's nothing like Delta or like Machine, Omega. It's like you get Baby, Darling, Buddy, Bats. It's just like it feels old school, and it just feels like, I don't know, it's like...
It's just got vibes.
It's like, yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, you got John Hamm, who I think is definitely who brings all the charisma in this film.
He's just cool. He just looks cool.
He's so cool. Yeah, exactly. And You get it. Jamie Foxx,
who's now being taken quite seriously, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's like...
I mean, I don't know if this is like a widespread thing. I'm going from a small community of people who I would chat to, but if you said Jamie Foxx was in a film, a lot of people would kind of like...
Yeah. I mean, he was good in Collateral, but it was ever since Django Unchained, to be fair, he also won an Oscar for Ray, for playing Ray Charles,
Yeah.
so I was like, he's been an acclaimed actor for like brief amount of time.
Yeah, it's not that I think he's bad, I think he's good. It was just a thing of like, for the longest time, people were kind of like, oh, okay.
It was until Django Unchained, and then he also got made, Jamie Foxx. Like, it's like Tarantino made...
Was he a rapper first, and then an actor, or...?
I don't know, I know he's been a rapper, but I don't know, like, which, like, if anything... I don't know, it's basically...
Because I always think it's a bit of a thing that sometimes if someone's a rapper first, they don't necessarily get taken seriously until they do, like...
His name looks like a rapper name first, like Jamie Foxx with the 2 X's. His Karen and his Bats is really cool. Like,
I enjoyed him, yeah, he was cool.
I wouldn't say he was cool, he was...
unnerving, in a way.
Yeah, he was unpredictable, his character.
It was more about the point, like, in a way, he just got in the car and he's like, where are we going then?
Yeah, so where are we going then? Like, you didn't want to tell the thing about, like, the thing where it's, like, going up to the diner and Baby's like, no, don't want to go. That's like, oh, why?
And he's like, well, we're definitely going there now.
It's like, alright, then I'm going. It's like, because he just kills people, and then you can tell Baby's like, I'm not used to that. Like, why? Like, what's
I'm
the
not
need?
down with that.
Kevin Spacey, who I'm glad didn't just turn out to be a villain.
Yeah, that was better.
I was almost anticipating, like, because it kind of started off like that. I was like, you're working for me again, right, baby? And, you know, that old guy, you know, you don't want him to get hurt. So it's like, I was almost anticipating him to be like...
Yeah.
Essentially in John Hamm's position.
Yeah, and he kind of ended up just being like the... You know when you have like a spy movie or something and there's like a guy...
He's M.
Yeah.
He's It's like, he wants business done, but he looks out for you. Type of thing. Like, he's like, look, I'm not taking your shit if you're not... If you're gonna...
He's like, I'm only going to do something that's worth my while and I'm not going to do anything unnecessary. I'm not going to like let necessarily personal feelings...
Like, he's not playing favouritism. Baby literally is the like, he only picks Baby as the driver because it's like, well, he clearly gets the job done. Why would I switch? Yeah. And it's the thing where it's like... But it's even up to the point where it's like, why are you taking us? Right, I'll find another driver then. And it's like he's not playing favourites.
He's not like, I'm going to murder you. He's just like...
He's purely business. He's never like...
and like if someone has to die, it's kind of like a last resort. So
yeah. So it's like, I'm very glad of his character, like what he turned out. And it makes sense, because it would feel a bit too corny, like just switch Kevin Spacey and John Hamm's roles around. Yeah. Like, because it looked like that's how it possibly would have played, how John Hamm was like, baby, run! And then start trying to gun Kevin Spacey down or whatever like that. But it kind of works, because it's like, yeah, John Hamm's like, he's not... The reason why he's after Baby is literally like, you got my wife killed.
It's kind of like a thing of like, Kevin Spacey's just like... I just want money, I don't care about much else. He just doesn't get overly emotional about it.
I would say, like, everyone's character motivations...
Like, he's always calm, if that makes sense.
Everyone's character motivations in this film is believable. Yeah. Like, no one does a thing where it's like, why are you doing that? Like, why is that a thing? It's like, everyone does a thing, because it's like, that's understandable why you would do that. Like, oh, you're saying that, that's reasonable, because you would say that. Like... When John Hamm essentially does become the villain, it's like, I believe you would be like that. Yeah. Like, and then when Kevin Spacey, it's like, everyone's decision's like, believable. To
a degree, I will say, I wasn't massively invested in the romance, but I felt it was necessary.
I will agree with that. Is it Lily James?
I think so.
I think she's fine. I think again, it's the thing, like... you can't pick a bad... Like, no one gives a bad role in an Edgar Wright film. It's like... It's not a sense of, like... That's not me doing favouritism. That's my... If you just look at every Edgar Wright film, even the extras are good. Yeah. Like, no one's like, oh, behave yourself. Like, everyone's good. Like, any of the Colin Hoover trilogy and Scott Pilgrim and this, like, everyone's good. What's that?
So no, just where I sort of... My mind kind of drifted... When you said extras, my mind drifted to Hot Fuzz, and then I just started thinking about the scene... when they're doing the play, and then it just made me think of the other day when we were kind of discussing it, we were saying about one of the funniest jokes in a film, when there's just Timothy Dalton smiling with a photo of him with the exact same expression behind him.
It's so great. It's one of the funniest shots. The romance in Baby Driver, I will agree, I wish it kind of was a bit developed more, but in a way I don't, because it's like, I'm worried that it would have just got way too, like...
convoluted and
and unnecessary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of like the romance was necessary for the plot to progress because that was kind of the whole building point of why everything kind of goes tits.
Yeah, and it wasn't even necessarily a thing to like change Baby's motivations. Like he from the get go, he never had any intention in continuing this the getaway driver thing.
But it's kind of thing of like he could have just quit and moved away with the old dude, but then it was kind of like then. It was like, then Kevin Smith was like, oh, you've got a nice girlfriend there. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, it's Louis Mike kind of
yeah.
has to stay. So it's like, because in theory, really, he could have just took the old bloke to the nursing home and then left.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was really necessary. It just didn't interest me. The scenes where it was happening didn't interest me. The only scenes, I will admit, where I was really, like, kind of not invested, because I was invested, like I didn't believe that they didn't like each other, but it was like a thing of like the only scene where it felt really important to me was there was two scenes and they were both in the diner.
Yeah.
And it was the bit where they all go at the diner.
Yeah.
And the bit where John Hamm's sitting in the diner.
Yeah.
And
I loved that scene. I loved that scene so
Yeah.
much because again that just
that was the point where I was kind of like, oh my god, something's going to happen to her. But then it was like a kind of a thing of like I wasn't massively bothered if they ended up together, but it was a nice ending.
I would say I wouldn't have been heartbroken if they didn't get together. But something about it, I was like, I just want Baby to go away.
Yeah, you just want him to have a happy life in a way.
like,
It's not necessarily to do with his girlfriend.
Again, I'm glad that relationship, that storyline was there. Again, nothing bored me in this film, like nothing at all.
I mean, that's literally the only thing I could pick out that I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a point that I'm like. If someone said to me like, I know you like it all, but if you had to pick the weakest point,
it's the romance aspect, but at the same time, it's not nearly as bad as some other romance.
Oh God, no.
Subplots in films. It's very necessary, but it's just not. I don't know. It's like enough stuff is happening in the film that you don't feel like you need to analyse it that much to a point where you're nitpicking it.
Oh, definitely.
So it's and kind of not on purpose, accidentally, we've kind of left Ansel Elgort last in terms of performance talking. I thought it was really good.
It was really charismatic, and I think he did a lot without saying very
subtle,
much.
Very subtle, but like very good.
It's quite funny.
He reminded me of like a Miles Teller from Whiplash, like that type of like role, and it's.
But I got like I'm gonna say now I haven't seen any. God, who was I talking about there? James Dean. I haven't seen any James Dean films where I kind of got vibes.
Yeah, no, like again, it's very like reminiscent of like a love letter to like 50s, 70s films, and even to the point where you get like the main character who is kind of quiet, but he's got a lot about him.
Yeah.
Like there's a different like. I do love Drive. Don't get like Drive is one of my favourite films of all time.
That as well. It's kind of like I got vibes of that too.
I can imagine this is what, like, when people complained about Drive, this is the film they wanted from Drive.
Yeah.
But they didn't get that from Drive, because Drive... But I do love Drive, and it's one of these things where it's like, I do like Ryan Gosling's performance in it. And his performance does, like, require analysation in terms of, like, understand the character. But some people... I can get why some people might not like his character. Ansel Elgort's role as Baby is essentially what you probably would have wanted from Ryan Gosling's Driver.
Extremely likeable.
Yeah, like there's just everything about him is just like it's like there's nothing like where you're like that was a bad character trait or like anything like that. It's like,
and that's the other thing that I found.
Even down right to the fact that he apologises when he's kicking an old woman out of her car. She's like, "Here's your handbag, sorry," and then takes off. Like
he's like a genuinely good person. It always seems.
Yeah, he just got wrapped up in like
in a bad thing.
In a bad thing, and he makes.
But I think like another thing that I enjoy is like the way that the film kind of like. There's a lot of side plots, but they all kind of Lego together.
Yeah, no, like everything, like the Edison, I think's amazing.
Yeah, they're not like unnecessary sort of side plots. No. They all are kind of necessary. Like there's the whole thing of like. There's the romance, then there's the thing about his mum and dad, which is relatively subtle, really.
And anything with John Hamm and the girl,
and then the whole thing of like John Hamm's, like he never confirms his backstory, but it's kind of like speculated on.
Well, it's like when Jamie Foxx says like, you do crime to. It's like you do crime to pay for your drug habit. I do drugs to help. No, you do crime to help with your drug habit. I do drugs to help with my crime habit.
Yeah.
Which is like right there. You get their characters.
Yeah.
Because John Hamm's like, this is a good way to make money, so we could do drugs.
Yeah.
And then like Jamie Foxx like, I'll do drugs to get me like going with with me just wanting to murder and just commit illegal activities. Like right there within one line said by one character, and the way each character reacted to that line, you get so much just knowledge of like,
the types of people.
Yeah, exactly.
That are in the movie.
And then it just all adds up. It's like, that makes sense then. Which is like genius writing, I think. I think like on the technical side, this is incredible as well. Like the cinematography is great. There's a breathtaking, what looks like incredibly practical car chase at the very beginning. And if we're also talking about technicalities, I do love the way it transitions, and as you learn about the story, it's great. Where the Sony logo starts, goes bing, and then it continues with the ringing, because it's like, and then the music starts, and then it drowns out the ringing, and I'm not sure if you, because that's how I picked up on this, and because it's like whenever music isn't playing, there is always a subtle ringing. Like there's never like, because like the character baby needs music to drown out this.
It's tinnitus.
Yes.
Tinnitus, I don't know.
Yeah. So, and the fact the film does that as well. Like as soon as the film starts, you get the ringing, and then the music starts, and then you just hear the music.
Yeah.
Again, thrilling car chases. Again, we love the Fast and Furious films, but they're not necessarily like
see too much CG.
Too much CG, not realistic, innit?
Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary. But no, like this, like
I think Gary would like this movie.
That's why I'm genuinely, because it's like we got the soundtrack in a bit, but it's like really like the car chases are great, the soundtrack's great. Like he would relate to the character immensely.
Yeah, because we had this thing of like. Gary kind of always has earphones in, or headphones on when we're out and about just all the time.
And he can be quiet, but he can also like, he could just be funny when he needs to be, like baby.
Yeah, we were like, this is like if you were really, really cool, Gary.
Yeah, this is what, like, Gary is baby, and until like baby gets behind the wheel, then that's when Gary picks up the control, play GTA. That's literally.
That's about right, to be fair. Yeah.
The editing I think's great. The cinematography, like when it like cuts to like, even like that one take shot of when I forgot the song Baby's listening to, but when he's first going to Starbucks.
Yeah, the first song. It was like not the first song in the movie.
No, it's I forgot the song, but it's all one take, which is great, and that's when it kind of feels like somewhat like a musical because he's like miming to them.
Yeah,
but it's not a musical because it's not original songs and he's not singing it. Well, it doesn't matter if they're original.
I was going to say, it doesn't be original song like a man on there.
Yeah, exactly. He's not singing it. It works as a musical in that sense as well, I guess. No, but the soundtrack.
It's a good soundtrack. We had it on the other day, didn't we?
So good. There's a lot of great.
You're gonna love it because Queen's on there.
I was gonna say, as soon as John Hamm started blasting Brighton Rock.
Yeah.
In the end, like, not the end car chase, the end, it kind of is.
Car scene, we'll say.
In the end, like, car scene, it's like, I'm sold, I'm fine with this. And then Kevin Spacey gets absolutely murdered.
Obliterated.
Like,
he's like literally destroyed.
He essentially Brad Pitt's in Meet Joe Black.
He gets shot several times and run over twice.
Under the wheel, it's just so, like, brutal. Like, it's weird because it's like this film, like,
in my head, I was like,
the film goes from being like a good like love letter to like 70s car films to as soon as Jamie Foxx gets impaled by as soon as Jamie Foxx gets impaled, then it just turns into Kick-Ass but with car chases.
It's like I don't know. I always laugh when, like, in the scene, I'm just like. When he got run over again, when he reversed over, I feel like that's a lot of cushions stuffed in a suit.
It probably was. It probably was. But no, like as soon as like Jamie Foxx dies, then it just becomes like, okay, now we're just in a really violent Edgar Wright film. Like right now,
it's not the most violent Edgar Wright film.
Hot Fuzz is probably. Shaun of the Dead's pretty. Hot Fuzz is the most violent.
To be fair, I think Shaun of the Dead often feels more violent just because of that one scene where David gets his guts ripped out.
No, but Hot Fuzz, again, it's not the most violent, but then it just becomes a really violent Edgar Wright film. The one I remember, like, when this film started to wrap up, like, when this film ended, and I could feel it ending, I was almost like,
no!
I legitimately was like, oh, no! No! And then it rolled credits, I was like, oh.
But I think if it had gone on any longer, it's kind of like, what else could you do?
I know exactly, but it was literally one of these things, I was like, no, oh, but it was great.
And I love how his girlfriend was kind of like, I'm going to Keira Knightley Pirates of the Caribbean this.
Basically, yeah.
And then he was just like, no, you don't.
Stop it.
BF.
I don't know, like, it's such an original, like, it's such a summer film. I think it's...
That was the thing, I found it really interesting when John Hamm finally does catch up with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, he shoots near his head and takes away his hearing first.
Yeah,
like, you immediately think, oh, he's going to shoot him or he's going to shoot his girlfriend, but he doesn't. He's just like, nah, he's not listening to music anymore.
Intense ringing, yeah, which is mental. And, yeah. I even just like the little characteristics of Baby, like, he just records stuff to mix it.
Yeah. And then he's just got millions of pairs of sunglasses and about 16 iPods.
Again, the humour in this is so funny. When there is humour, like, there's a bit where it's like, where Baby just encounters this one guy, it's like, your tattoo says hat. It's like, you say hate.
But apparently it ruined my job prospects.
Yeah, it's so random.
He's like, you get a hat and say, people love hats.
Yeah, people love hats. It's just, like, the dialogue is fantastic.
I totally forgot about that joke.
It's so good. But it's like, it's even so funny, like, when it's like, I think...
the best joke in the entire film. Oh yeah, get some Mike Myers Halloween masks.
Oh,
and they come back with masks of Austin Powers.
Yeah, it's like, so Michael Myers. It is Mike Myers. No, Michael, like, Halloween masks. It's not Halloween mask. No, like the movie.
The way he kills people.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, oh. So they're just walking out with like Michael Myers like Mike Myers, like, as in the actor, just these masks. It's like, God. It's so, like, when they're funny, it's funny. And when it's serious. And when the action's happening, it's great action. Like, there's nothing really like a fight scene, but it's like when, like, Baby's just, like, parkouring, basically.
Yeah. And
free running. It's great. And the car chases are great. It's such a fun film. It's just great. It's like, I would say, like, how last year Nice Guys was just a very summer film that's very original that people should see because of how, like, just, like, how much, like, style and energy is just in the film.
It's kind of similar vibes, though, generally.
Yeah, no, definitely.
In terms of, like, even colour schemes and things like that.
Yeah. And, like, I think people should see Baby Driver because it is such a... Like, it's so... You can feel the passion in it. It's such a fun, like, just film overall. There's characters that you can attach to in any way. You're going to love the soundtrack, even if you don't end up listening to it after the film. It's just... it's just good anyway.
I mean, I feel I could be wrong in this, but I kind of feel like it's going to be one of those movies where, because of the time it's come out, it might sort of fade out a little bit, like people won't know what it is.
Transformers is currently out.
I think it'll become like a cult, a bit of a cult thing. Yeah. Because obviously Spider-Man Homecoming's coming out as well, and we've had like you say, Transformers
Despicable
as well.
Me 3.
Despicable Me 3.
So, I don't think Baby Driver has that much.
War of the Planet of the Apes is coming.
It's coming out. I don't think Baby Driver has as much of a chance in box office wise in terms of it's not been any of these, and I can imagine people like know nothing about it being like Baby Driver. That sounds stupid.
Yeah. And
the fact that my mum asked me like, what have you went to see? Oh, Baby Driver. Oh, is that like something like that Baby Boss? She meant the Boss Baby. Like, no, it's...
Is that linked to the Baby Boss? But no.
Yeah, no.
But it's because it's... Well, the title fits, but I think if you don't know the context, like, I get why people think it would sound a bit silly.
No, exactly. But I saw, like, a good comment about this film in a sense of, like, someone said, like... Again, you haven't seen this film that I'm about, like, say the comparison to, but I saw someone say, like, it's... The Kick-Ass, what Kick-Ass did for superhero films, Baby Driver did for getaway driver films.
Yeah.
In a sense, like, it just brought so much, like, energy to it. And it kind of made its own different genre. And it's funny to think this, because it's like, Edgar Wright, when he wanted to do Ant-Man, then he went off and did this. It almost makes me feel like this is kind of what he wanted to do with Ant-Man. To an extent.
Obviously, yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, but, like, since Ant-Man, from what I heard, is essentially a heist film, and this is essentially a heist film, I imagine that he said, fine, I can't do Ant-Man, I'll just do an original film
Yeah, I'll
then.
just do whatever I feel like doing.
Which
really.
I'm kind of glad he did this instead of Ant-Man because, yeah, definitely, yeah, it's. I love Baby Driver. It's top. It's probably tied with my favourite Edgar Wright film because I do love The World's End as well. So it's amongst my favourite Edgar Wright films. It's definitely one of my favourite films of this year, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think I'll probably make it in my top 10, in honesty.
Yeah, I would rewatch this again, even just to show Gary it. But and I do have a feeling this will get more popularity as time goes on, because it just feels like one of those times. It feels like it will be timeless, and it feels like a nice throwback, and it feels like Edgar Wright sticking with his guns but also evolving.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just something different. It's similar but different.
Exactly, which is the best thing you could do. It's like when Nolan did Inception. It's like it's similar to Chris Nolan, but it's him evolving.
Yeah.
This is Edgar Wright's Inception, is what I would say, which is the best way I could put this. So, guys, thank you for watching our discussion for Baby Driver. Since you watched all this, you saw the film. What are your thoughts on Baby Driver? Let's have a discussion in the comments. Sophie, what's in the description? What's in our description?
Twitter.
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes.
Instagram.
Indeed.
Letterboxd.
Yes. And maybe a link to VHS Pirate Season 2, because everyone should watch that.
Yeah, it's on the same level as this. It's really...
It really is. So, thank you all, and until next time, we shall see you later, and bye-bye.